So over at the shop, in the Chalfont Giant Shopping Center,
Yeah.
where the bagel barn is,
Yeah.
there's a little place called Mihar's. Two Indian women opened up a smoothie and bowl shop, and it's phenomenal. Really fresh fruit. Their acai is amazing. Their bases are really great. She's got the dragon fruit, it's really good. And their smoothies are awesome. No crap in them, all good. Just make a smoothie with frozen fruit. Really good. Sweetest women on the face of the planet, like really friendly. They have an online ordering platform. It's great.
Nice. Check out. We're actually going to go.
Yeah, it's really good. I'll do a bowl and a smoothie for breakfast. It's a lot of food. But it's incredible how you eat that bowl and that smoothie and you don't have to eat again for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm good. Like I'm pretty good for like all of Sunday. I'm good until like, you know, I get done with my food shopping and meal prepping. It's 4 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten all day. But it's just pure energy, you know. Store the glycogen. You know what I'm saying? It's back. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
What happened over there?
You gotta cut off.
What?
Just shut off.
You turn the because you turn the lights off. It's plugged into the lights.
Oh, no.
You wanna do it on the iPad maybe?
Hit the switch all the way to the left.
You're left or not?
That one. Is it back on?
Takes a little bit.
Takes a minute.
It's not,
to
yeah,
warm up.
it takes a minute.
I think it's starting.
Well, you should see if it has power. I hit the next one in.
All the lights back on.
Next one. Next one. It's on this bay of lights right here. Next one. That one. Turn all the other ones off but that one. Alright, that sucks.
Feel like I work with a scout.
I'll tell you what. No. Go get me, before the other extension.
In the spot.
I was gonna say, it's in a spotlight. It's perfect. Feel like you're on stage.
As what?
Ryan, tell them not to worry about the extension cord. Just get the iPad and just put it right on that chair right there. Zoom, you know what I'm saying? Zoom. Continues to be the bane of my existence. Ever since its invention, 2020.
It worked really well for us.
Yeah, it did. Saved us,
Yeah.
for sure. All right, so as I was saying, good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for coming down. You know, every year we do this, and every year we see a lot of the same faces, and you know, always trying to get all of the beginners and the intermediate level students on board with the 60-day challenge. And I think that the reason why they don't do it is probably fear. So what I want to do, apart from, you know, having this conversation, is we want to continue this conversation and try and spread that into the other classes, right? So you guys that teach those classes and you guys that train in those classes, in the beginning and the intermediate classes, we're not going to lay off them because they didn't show up today. We're going to keep on top of them and see if we can get them to join us over the next couple of weeks, because I think there's a big fear when it comes to nutrition, because everybody knows how difficult it is to instill good nutrition habits into your life. Most of you guys have done that, so you guys understand how difficult it is to do. So we're not gonna sit here and just be disappointed because they didn't show up. We're gonna take that as another challenge to get as many of those people to join on with us and learn as much as they possibly can, right? And as every year, you guys are gonna hear a lot of the same information that you guys have been hearing for the last 10 years. Because essentially, the 60-day challenge, the 90-day challenge, whatever you wanna call it, is essentially gonna be the same thing every single year, right? But every single year, as we get better, we've done it more, and there's more technology available to us, we wanna start to bring that technology in to try and make it easier. And I think that all of the things that we're gonna talk about today, as far as the technology advancements, I think they benefit you guys more than they benefit someone brand new. Someone who's brand new really just has to focus on switching really bad habits into some okay habits. For instance, when I get someone, they come in and they're brand new student, they're really overweight, and I start talking to them about their habits, and you see how bad their habits are. I'll ask them a question: what do you eat for breakfast? I usually eat, an egg sandwich. I'm like, no, you need to be honest with me. I know you ain't eat an egg sandwich for breakfast. All right, I eat 2 bacon, egg, and cheese every morning. I say, great. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, you're gonna buy the same 2 bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and you're just gonna eat one. And then 3 hours later, eat the other one. That's how simple I start with brand new students, right? So you guys have already been through all of that. Charlie, are we recording?
Correct.
All right, so you've already been through all of that, so you guys can take it to the next level. So I do see some new faces in here, so I want to explain to you guys where the 90-day challenge originally came from. And again, the title of it, 90 days, 60 days, it doesn't matter, because we all know that's what?
Starting point.
Bullshit. Right? It's a hoax. The 90-day challenge is a hoax. The 60-day challenge is a hoax. It's fake. It's not real. It's a 365-day challenge. It's a lifetime challenge. That's what it should be called, right? We can break it down to 60-day challenge and make it a little bit more palatable for people to swallow. Because at the end of the day, really what we're trying to do is we're just trying to learn as much as we can in the 60 days and try and create better habits from where we are in 60 days. So if you can take where you are now and create some better habits over the course of 60 days, you succeeded. That's the idea behind the challenge, right? It originally started though, it was a diet that bodybuilders used to prepare for a photo shoot or a competition, and it was 90 days. The way it started off was very simple. The first 3 days for breakfast, you had 6 egg whites and a bowl of oatmeal, and nothing else. There was no hot sauce, there was no ketchup, there was no nothing. 3 hours later, you had a bowl of chicken and rice. 3 hours later, you had a bowl of chicken and rice. 3 hours later, you had a bowl of chicken and rice. 3 hours later, you had a bowl of chicken and rice. You woke up the next day and you did it again. You did it for 3 straight days. On the 4th day, you ate whatever you wanted. Anything you wanted to eat. Pizzas, hoagies, ice cream, hamburgers, didn't matter. Then you started over again and you did that same meal plan for 4 straight days. And then on the 5th day, you ate whatever you want. Then you did it for 5 straight days. And on the 6th day, you ate whatever you want. Then you did it for 6 straight days. On the 7th day, you ate whatever you want. And then for the rest of the time, that's all you ate. The last week of that challenge, you would cut all your water out. You would do a water trick where you ingested massive amounts of water, and then you would cut that water out, and your body would trigger a chemical in its brain saying, all right, we have to expel this water, it's too much. And it would trigger that dump chemical in your brain, and it would dump all the water out of your system, and then you would stop drinking water. And you would completely dehydrate yourself.
It hurts.
It hurts. It's awful. Water trick is awful. And then the morning of the photo shoot, we would wake up, eat a bag of M&Ms, a piece of cheesecake, a glass of red wine, and all of that sugar would go into your system, and it would go into your muscles, and it would pull the last little layer of water between your skin and your muscles out, and your muscles would go, and your skin would disappear. It was like silk. And then you would do a couple push-ups and some sit-ups and some bicep curls, and you would completely shredded, veins coming out of your face and your neck. You could see like through your skin. It was incredible. It was incredible. And we would do our after pictures that way. So that's the way that the 90-day challenge actually came about and started. Through the years, we've realized that that was a very unsustainable process. The problem with it was it actually created bad habits, because by the end of it, you were so sick of chicken and rice that all you wanted was hamburgers and ice cream. So it really wasn't habit forming, right? So now we've got to the process where we're really trying to create better habits. That's what it comes down to. And most of you that live, and we talked about it the other night, we don't want to live like this, right? I want to live kind of in here with my habits. And when you live in here with your habits and then the 60-day challenge comes around, you just tweak a couple things for a couple of months, get everything tightened right back up again, and now I'm living back in here again. Instead of letting things go completely out of whack and then trying to recover and then getting completely out of whack and trying to recover again, that's very hard to do. So when we talk about habits, we want to take the habits that you have and we want to move them here better. Wherever your habits are, we just want to move them one spot over the course of the 60 days. So you guys that might be doing this for the first time and might have some very poor habits, you don't have to worry about taking this to the next level, right? I'm going to show you guys from here to here. And I want you guys to take it to whatever level you can take it to. And after a couple weeks, you might be like, you know what, I'm ready for more. I'm going to add this piece to it. And after a month, you might be like, you know what, I'm ready for more. I'm going to add more to it. And by the end of the 60-day challenge, hopefully, you're doing all of the things that we're doing together, and you're able to keep them as a part of your routine, right? So, and can you drop those down to like 68 so they turn off, please? What is the problem? The problem is we have horrible eating habits, late night snacking, junk food. The food we eat is engineered to keep you eating, not to keep you healthy. We talked about that the other day too. It was an epiphany that I had. I was driving. Most people eat food because that's how you stay alive, right? You stop eating, you die. So you eat food to stay alive. But most people will die from the food that they're eating at some point in their life. At some point in your life, most of the people that you know die, they die because of the food that they've eaten their whole life. You're dying of a heart attack, you're dying of stroke, you're dying of all of these things that were caused over the 65 years that you were eating on this planet. Sugar, salt, additives are everywhere. Inflammatories ruin your gut receptors. Labels are confusing on purpose. That's part of the greed of the food industry. They don't want you to be able to read their labels, because if you could read their labels, you wouldn't eat what was in there. So the plan, we're going to use AI to educate us on a better lifestyle and create us a structured meal plan. Weekly meetings are going to keep us on track and allow us to dig a little bit deeper. We're going to try and shop for whole foods diet, avoid harmful ingredients. We're going to eat meals structured with macros, protein in every meal to hit muscle protein synthesis. Find fun alternatives, follow higher standards, keep it sustainable, limit ultra-processed foods. So we're going to talk about everything from the food that you eat to the shampoo that you use. When I talk about living a healthy lifestyle, if you think about it, if I'm eating whole foods and I'm spending all of this time making sure that the foods that I'm ingesting are healthy for me, not just burning fat inside my system, but are actually healthy for my body and are going to keep me alive and healthy for a longer period of time, does it make sense to put body wash on you that's causing cancer? It doesn't. So the whole process has to be there. Your body, everything you put in it, everything you put on it, is what's keeping you alive or bringing you closer to death. So we're going to talk about all of those habits, and we're going to use the sources around us to make sure that we can change out all of those little things. And it's not easy, I'm going to tell you that right now. There are things that I thought for sure, these are good. And then I was like, oh, I got to throw that out. And I just bought the Costco size. The apps we're going to use, and this is not limited to what you see here. ChatGPT is going to be a very big part of what we're using, and I'm going to tell you guys right now that is an unbelievable technology, and it can give you unbelievable information, or it can take you down a rabbit hole and drive you insane. So we have to learn how to control it. The Yuka app is my mainstay. I use my Yuka app constantly. We're going to go through my history on my Yuka app so I can show you guys a couple of really amazing things. But that Yuka app is one of the best inventions ever. The Yuka app is basically so you don't have to read labels. You scan the label and it tells you everything that's good and everything that's bad right at the click of a button, so you don't have to try and read the label. And the best part about it is that Yuka is not owned by a food company. Yuka is an independent group of people that wanted to make the world a better place. So you can rely on the information that's in there. They're not owned by any food companies. MyFitnessPal is one of the oldest fitness trackers that's around. That does not mean it's the best. It's just one of the ones that everybody recognizes. But everybody's using something different now. Anthony, you use the macro factor.
Yeah.
He really likes the macro factor. We really like that. We're actually going to go through it today and build my macro factor. So there's a bunch of them. You can also cut that out completely and just use ChatGPT. But you have to be very careful with that because it's a bot. And it's a bot that's designed to please you. Because the more that bot pleases you, the more you're going to click on it. And the more you click on it, the more likely you are to get to a point where you have to pay for it. So Adam has warned me about that bot. And what he does is he trains his own bot. We're not going to get too involved in that, but you can take that to the level that you need to. But these are the things that you have to watch out for, is that thing is trying to hit your dopamine every chance that it gets and make you feel like a rock star. So even when you do something wrong, it's going to be like, no, you're great, you're good, keep rocking and rolling. And you're going to be like, awesome. It is also not 100% accurate when it comes to, you take your chicken and you put it on a scale and you know how much of a chicken breast you are actually ingesting, and you do the calculation of every gram of protein is 7 calories, right? And you do all of those calculations, you're going to come up and you're going to see that a lot of these things are inaccurate as far as the calorie counts. So you might be going through your week and just following ChatGPT and telling them, I'm eating what it's telling me to eat and I'm still gaining weight because you think you're eating 1,400 calories a day, but you're actually eating 2,200 calories a day. So we can have the technology all we want, right? My car's got 800 cameras on it. It's got a 360 camera, it's got sensors all over it, it drives by itself. But I still do this. Remember this? No, we're never turning music down. It gets me hand. I drive reverse faster than I drive forward. It's the worst when Metallica comes on, I'm trying to back out of my driveway. Because I use the technology to assist me, but I don't rely solely on the technology. And my car even tells me that. Don't back up just using your cameras, please. They're good, but they're not better than this and this. This is still the best computation system on the planet. So we have to continue to do things manually. But the combination of these things can be really, really helpful. The ChatGPT, when it comes to it, the really cool thing about it, we decided to bring it in because you remember last year, everybody got excited because there was going to be a meal plan given to you. But what the team realized very quickly is that making a meal plan for you and for you and for you and for you on an every week basis is impossible to do. And if you paid someone to do it, you would pay someone thousands of dollars to give you a brand new meal plan every single week, to give you the variety that you need in order to do this long term. At the touch of a button, you can have that now. So that's why we decided to bring it in. Setting goals is really important. We're going to talk a lot about that. Everybody in here has a different goal. Whether your goal is sustained weight loss, and when I mean weight loss, I mean taking excess fat off your body. Visceral fat that you have on your system is unhealthy for you in any way, shape, or form. So we want to take that off. We want to build muscle. We want to have long, lean muscle mass. But everybody's goals are going to be different in this room. If I showed you the amount of calories that Anthony eats on a daily basis, most of you would throw up. If you tried to eat the amount of calories that he eats on a daily basis, you definitely would throw up. Because he's got a very specific process that he wants to do. He's trying to put on weight and he wants to put on muscle mass. Putting on weight and putting on muscle are two very different things. If you're over 40, you can put on weight real quick. That's not hard to do. You're literally doing it right now, just sitting here, right? So it's not hard to put on weight, but it's difficult to put on muscle mass. That's a specific strategy. And if you want to lose weight, we want to do it sustainably. You all heard the miracle stories about someone who's lost, I did the gelatin trick and I lost 40 pounds in 6 weeks. Good luck sustaining that for the rest of your life. It's not sustainable because it's not habitual. So we can do a very, very in detail approach to this equation, or you can keep it very simple. Your weight times 15, that's your maintenance calorie goal. So if you're 180 pounds, you need 2,700 calories to maintain that 180 pounds. If you subtract 500 from those calories and you ingest 2,200 calories, your weight essentially will drop because you're at a caloric deficit, right? Now let's talk real quick about a caloric deficit, because we know that the caloric deficit is not exponential. There comes a point where your caloric deficit will do more harm than good. So if you have a massive amount of excess fat on your body, you can actually be in a caloric deficit of about 1,000, and you can still lose weight and burn fat. But most people are going to be between 200 and 500 with their caloric deficit, with the amount of excess fat that they have to lose. And when you start going below that 500 mark, what happens? Your body goes into starvation mode, right? Because it's looking at it going, I'm not getting enough calories and I don't have enough fat to burn. She's trying to kill me. I'm not going to allow her to kill me, so I'm just going to store everything as fat. When your body goes into starvation mode, you're like, I'm eating 700 calories less than I should, but I'm still getting fatter. Because everything that you put in is turned into fat and stored, and it's your body's defense mechanism. So your caloric deficit to lose body fat is not exponential. You cannot just be like, all right, I'm just gonna eat 500 calories today. So that calculation, 5 minus 500 is pretty drastic. We wanna be between 2 and 5. Transversely, in the other direction, it is exponential, right? So if I need 2,700 to maintain and I take in 3,000, am I gonna gain weight? Yup. If I take in 4,000, am I gonna gain weight? Yup. If I take in 5,000, am I gonna gain weight? Yup. The more you take in, the more weight you're gonna gain. So if you're trying to build lean, strong muscle, and you take in 500 extra calories a day, you're going to fail miserably You need to take in an excess in order to build muscle. That's a scientific fact. If you're in a deficit, it's very difficult to build lean muscle mass. You're gonna do more fat burning in that deficit, which is okay for 60 days. But if you wanna build muscle, you have to be in a surplus. But if your surplus goes much above 200 calories, you're gonna put more fat on because your muscle doesn't build as fast as your body can store fat. Does it make sense? Right? So people come to me in the first 60 days and they're like, I'm not losing any weight, but it's because I'm building muscle. And I'm like, no, it's because you're not paying attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Because your body can burn fat very quickly. You can lose 2 pounds of fat in 1 week pretty easily. Can you put on 2 pounds of muscle in 1 week? I don't even know what steroids you could be on to put on that kind of muscle, but if you find them, let me know. That's a massive amount of muscle to build in 2 weeks. So you can put on fat much easier than you can build muscle. So it's a much slower process to build lean muscle mass than it is to burn fat off of our system. So 500, and if you have a lot of weight to lose, you can go a little bit lower than that. But if you're going in the other direction, 200 surplus is going to be about where you're going to be. Very important screen. Avoid things. Preservatives are in just about everything, and there's a lot of more chemicals now than they are using salt these days. And they destroy your gut, and once your gut health is destroyed, it's very difficult to live a healthy lifestyle and to do any of the things we're talking about. High sugars spike your blood sugars, and sugar eventually is going to turn into fat. Your body can only process so much sugar at one time. You put too much sugar in your body, you can't process it, turns it into fat. Also, a lot of sugar in your diet will cause what? Diabetes. You do not want to have type 2 diabetes. It's an absolute horrible thing to have. But remember, type 2 diabetes is still and always will be 100% preventable and 1,000% curable. It's a curable disease. You do not have to take medication for it. You don't have to have it. You just have to change your habits to not have that, right? I know a lot of people that have type 1 diabetes that look at people with type 2 diabetes and they loathe them because type 1 diabetes is a horrible disease you have to live with. You can't do anything about it. So why would you want to give yourself that? Doesn't make any sense. Seed oils, inflammation, hormone disruption, and there are seed oils in just about everything right now. So we really have to be careful with the oils that we're eating. Food dyes are probably one of the biggest issues that we have in the country right now. I can remember when I started doing this, I've been teaching for almost 29 years now. And when I started teaching, maybe 1 out of 100 kids came in with ADD or ADHD. Now I would say, Charlie, what do you think, 7 out of 10?
Yeah.
70%
Yeah.
easily are kids that are coming in that are diagnosed with ADHD or ADD.
Until they meet me.
What's that?
Until they meet me.
Until they meet you. These guys are the ADHD removers. But it has never failed. Anytime I adjust a child's diet, they always go back in the other direction. It's the food dyes are one of the biggest culprits of that. Trans fat, kill you. Flat, plain out, simple, trans fats kill you. And artificial sweeteners are, there's 100 of them now at this point, and that's why a lot of things seem like they're healthy for you, and you can claim that they're healthy, but we know especially sweeteners like sucralose are very harmful to your system. So again, we don't want to just lose weight. It doesn't matter if you lose weight and then die at 65. That's not our goal here. Our goal is to live a long, healthy life. Macronutrients. First of all, what are micronutrients? Vitamins and minerals are your micronutrients. That's a whole nother process of where you're getting your vitamins and are you getting enough vitamins. And if we work on our macronutrients and do this the right way, Our micronutrients are gonna be in much better shape, but you can still explore supplementation. And if you're interested in doing that, we could talk about it. I've found some really great supplement companies that are giving clean supplements so you can, get a little bit more vitamin C, vitamin B, and that kind of stuff. So obviously, if you want to take this and keep it as simple as possible, if I was going to make a meal, I take one from the protein, I take one from the carbohydrate, I take one from the fat, boom, there's my meal. Very simple. You want to make it even simpler if you're looking for portion control. I take a palm size piece of protein, I take a palm size piece of carbohydrate, and I take a thumb size fat, and there's my meal. It's literally that simple to do if you want to take it to that level and keep it as simple as possible. So if I'm looking to make breakfast, I can take eggs, I can take egg whites, which are a better choice. I can take oats, and I can take some nuts and put it into my oats. And you have a really healthy breakfast as long as the portion is correct. So this is basically how you look at your diet. We want to make sure that we don't cut out anything. If you have a low carb diet, that's okay. High protein, low carb is what most people in this room are going to be looking for. If you have a high protein, low carb diet, it's much easier to build muscle and to burn fat on a high protein, low carb diet. But there are instances where that is not the case. I'll give you guys a great example of that. We just had it the other day. So Joshu wears a really great device. Joshu and Charlie both wear it. Hold it up. So those devices basically monitor your caloric burn for the day, your activity levels. Joshu, is that an Apple Watch or is it a Whoop? So they're both wearing a Whoop band. And a Whoop band, you wear it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't ever take it off. It even has a charger that you put onto it to charge it while it's on you. It never comes off. So it monitors your vitals and it tells you how many calories you're burning in a day. The biggest thing that the Whoop does is it talks to you about your recovery. How well did you sleep and how is your body recovering? And it tells you when you need to rest. Back in the day, it was train 7 days a week. You don't ever rest. My opponent is home resting. I'm training, that's why I'm gonna win. And then halfway through the second round, guys are falling over on themselves. And we started to realize that the science behind your body is rest is a huge part of what we do. But also the caloric intake. So Joshu's been training his ass off recently and he's been doing a lot of running. And we were talking about it the other day and I could physically see that he was what I call bonking, right? When you bonk, you get this green hue right under here. You actually start to turn green and you're not speaking real great and you're not standing real steady and it's your blood sugar is kind of getting low. And we started talking about his caloric intake and he's really high on protein with his, he's looking at his week and his day and saying a lot of protein, low carbs, low fat. And the issue that he was having, because he's burning 4,200 calories in a day, which means if he's going to be in a deficit, he's got to ingest 3,700 calories in a day. And trying to ingest 3,700 calories in a day with a high protein diet, you basically just don't leave your house. You just sit there and eat grilled chicken all day long. It's really difficult to do. Not only that, but it's also not conducive to the type of training that he's doing. So with that extreme level of training, a fighter in fight camp, that's fighter in fight camp training. And a fighter in fight camp needs to have what? Carbohydrates. You must have carbohydrates. So you're going to be more of a 30 protein, 40 to 50 carbohydrate, 20 fat in a meal, as opposed to someone who just wants to lose weight and builds muscle, but not doing that extreme level of cardio, where you're going to be at about 50 grams of protein per meal, 30 carb, and 20 fat per meal. So depending on your output is going to depend on your input. And it's really important. Every single person is going to be unique. So when we fill out our that's why we use the MyFitnessPal and we use the app, because we really want to get a good gauge of what we're doing on a daily basis. We have to track and see. Because it was very easy. He showed me his whoop. He's like, I burned 4,200 calories, but I'm only able to take in 3,000 because I'm trying to get so much protein in. Very simple fix. Adjust it, put more carbs in, and you will feel immediately better, right? Immediately, it goes right away, and you're like, I can go run again. I can train again.
I drank a Gatorade.
Right. Drinking Gatorade, right? And what's in Gatorade?
Sugar.
What's sugar? Carbohydrates. They act the same way in your body. It's fuel for your muscles and your body. So that's why when I get beginners, they come into class and they're training really hard for the first time. They turn green, they fall over, we prop them up in the chair. When's the last time you ate? Yesterday. I have applesauce packets with brown sugar in them. Take this. They take an applesauce packet with brown sugar. It's like stuffing Fix-A-Flat into a flat tire. It pops them right back up. They're like, I feel great. Because their blood sugar just dropped, right? When your blood sugar drops, right? You guys have all heard Tracy beeping on the mat. She's beeping. Usually when that thing starts beeping, she starts swaying. And boom, she runs off the mat and she's got to take sugar into her system because her blood sugar gets low. So it's very important to understand the output, the input, and what it is that you're looking for. We're all going to be unique individuals, right? Shopping is one of the most difficult things to do. I'm trying to shop as clean and healthy as possible. I'm trying to get as much flavor in my food as possible. And we're at the point now where my girlfriend and I have about 4 different stores that we're using to get all the things that we need to get. So every day there's a text, I'm going to Costco, what do you need? Boom, I get the list. She texts me, I'm going to Wegmans, what do you need? We get the list. Going to Whole Foods, what do you need? Because no one store is perfect for what I need, and that's the level that I'm trying to take it to. With that being said, you don't need to do it like that. But these are a couple of, we're very lucky in this area because we have a Wegmans, we have a Whole Foods, they just put a Sprouts right there. If you haven't seen it, it's right by the Home Depot and Lowe's. Sprouts is an amazing shop. But we also have something really amazing in this area. We have local farm stands in this area. There's a bison farm 3 miles up the road where you can go buy fresh, grass-fed, natural, organic bison. Right up the road. You go 3 miles away from that, you can buy a whole cow. That's my next move. I'm buying a half a cow. Because it's all grass-fed, it's all organic, it's all healthy, and it's raised right there. It's never been put in a machine, it's never been put in a plant, in a warehouse, it's never been on a truck. So, in the summertime, you have those local farm stands, your fruits and vegetables, we have something amazing that we can get fruits and vegetables. I had River working on an organic farm over the summertime, and he would bring home these onions. I'd never seen them before. But we eat them like apples. They were so incredible. The food was so unbelievable because it was all natural and it was all organic and it was grown up the street. He pulled it out of the ground, he washed it, and we ate it. We're very lucky to have that. So we have to utilize all of these things. Your Yuka app is it's my go-to. And you know what I love about the Yuka app is if you have kids and you want to get them involved in grocery shopping, I take River grocery shopping with me every other week. When he's with me, he comes grocery shopping because first of all, it's my job to teach him how to do that as his father. He has to understand how to shop and how to cook. But the really, really cool thing about the Yuka app is that you can give your kids, the younger they are, the better. It's an interactive experience, and you can challenge them to take the Yuka app and find really great things in the store. So they'll come back and be like, Mommy, can we get this? What's Yuka say? And they scan it. Nope, no good, Mommy, got a poor score. All right, go find something that's like that with a rating of 75 or better. We need that green button. And they'll go.
It does give you recommendations too.
It does. It gives you
something that's bad,
right.
or like try this.
And it says at the bottom, try this, right? And it's like a scavenger hunt, literally like a scavenger hunt to try and find good stuff at the food store. So if you want to get your kids involved, that is the best way to do it. The Yuka app is the best way to do that. ChatGPT is going to give you a shopping list. So when you input your information into it, it will give you a meal plan. Once you have your meal plan arranged the right way, I don't like salmon, boom. I don't want it with this, boom. Add this, boom. And now you got your meal plan for the week. And then you hit give me a shopping list. And it creates a shopping list for you. Exactly what you need for that week.
Is there any way to use the information you've got or in the Fitness Pal and put it in ChatGPT, like drop it in? Do you know?
I'm sure that there
I have the
probably
paid version
is.
for work, and you can just drop stuff in, and it just analyzes stuff. It's amazing.
I'm sure there probably is a way to
Okay.
do it. Do I know how to do it? No.
All right, I'll figure it out then.
Figure it out.
The easiest way is gonna be take a screenshot of the
Screenshot,
app,
drop it in.
put it in ChatGPT and say, look at this image and tell me about whatever you want it to tell you,
Okay.
and it'll do it.
Just make sure you double check.
Oh, it's wrong a lot.
Yes. Adam said the biggest thing that he runs into with ChatGPT is it gives a meal plan and it gives a meal and it says, all right, you're gonna take this meal and it's 650 calories, and it's wrong. When he makes the meal and he weighs it and measures it and does the calculations himself, it's 300 calories off in one direction or the other. And that's a huge problem. So like I said, there's nothing better than getting a food scale and weighing your food and doing the calculation manually and double checking. So the nice thing about Chat is that every single week you can get a new menu made up for you at the touch of a button. You don't have to pay someone thousands of dollars. You just, next Sunday, you just put in, give me a new meal plan with the same parameters. Boom, you get a new meal plan, a new shopping list, and there's your variety. Some people don't want variety. I don't use that because I don't want variety. And Julie will tell you, we were laughing the other day about it. I can food shop in 20 minutes. I'm in and out because I get the same damn thing. I know where to put it in my cart. The lady at the food store must think I'm nuts because I literally the exact same stuff in my cart every single week. That's me. That's how I like to do it. I eat the same thing every day. I don't change. That's how I like to do it. So if you're like that, great, super easy. But if you want variety, that's where the AI comes in. And it's really easy to do. Shop the edges of the store. We know all the good stuff is around the edges. We don't want to be in the middles of the store. Most of these stores, first of all, if you go to Whole Foods, it's hard to find a lot of bad stuff in that store, period. Same thing with Sprouts. But if you go to the other food stores, I know Giant, I use Giant for the bulk of my stuff. And Giant has the Nature's Promise line. Nature's Promise is vetted it, it's good. They're actually really organic and certified, and it's a very good company. It's owned by Giant, but it's a good company. You can trust their products. But now they have that whole aisle dedicated to Whole Foods and good, clean stuff. And there's some amazing things in there. When we go through my Yuka, I'll show you. I got a couple of samples today. I wanted to have a whole table of samples. But unfortunately, when I went to the food store yesterday, there was no food. And everybody in Chalfont was there. I literally running around like freaking out. And I was like, I'm sorry, are Cabbage Patch Kids on sale here? That's what it looked like. I had PTSD from that. It was unbelievable. What's a cow? Oh my God. Yes, it's not food, that's for sure. So that was an epic failure, but I did get a couple of examples of some things that can help you guys out, especially if you have kids. So, what is a whole food, Charlie?
If it didn't come from the earth, grow from the earth, or walk on the earth, it is not a whole food.
That's a really simple thing to put in your brain. If it didn't grow out of or walk on the earth, or swim in the waters of the earth, same as walking. That's like a spinning back fist. It's a kick for some reason. When we do kicks only, someone throws a spinning back fist and Sean Shulman's like, that's a kick. Okay.
It's funny.
If it didn't grow out of or walk on the earth, it is not a whole food. So we want to try and eat a whole food diet. And if you just shop with that in mind, you'll see you're gonna put a lot less stuff in your bag. You don't have to bring that many bags. Organic options are always better. So, you know, there's a whole conspiracy that this whole organic thing is baloney and it's not real. I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's the case. I believe that organic foods are better for you. So what is an organic food essentially? What's that?
Processed?
It's definitely not processed, for sure. It's not processed. It's not tampered with. It doesn't have hormones in it. It doesn't have pesticides in it. It doesn't have all that kind of stuff.
Preservatives?
There probably are some preservatives in there, but it's going to be salt, right? Because salt is an organic thing, so they can use it as preservative. What's that? No, they could be multiple ingredients in organic stuff, but I think the biggest thing is it's just a little bit cleaner as far as chemicals are concerned. There are going to be the biggest things with the organic food, but there are some things that say like you can get organic chicken, but they pack it in bleach water. I don't know how true that is, but you can find chicken, and it says it on the label that it's packaged in fresh water, right? You can see it on there. It says that that's what it's packaged in. So there's an answer to all of the questions now. It's become a huge thing. It's a big market. So you do have to be careful and cautious with it, with everything else, but I think it's the better choice for you. So making meals, prepping, and planning. Very simple. If you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Dedicate 3 hours to shopping and prepping for the week. Take your desired amount of each macros to make meals. Clean your kitchen of old, undesired food. So how you prep your meals is completely up to you. I do a one-day meal prep. Every Sunday, I wake up, I make my list, I go to the grocery store, I come home, I cook, I clean, I'm done. I have it down to, it's 2.5 to 3 hours, the entire process. I have it down to the point where when I put my Tupperware lid on the last container, I put it in the refrigerator and I turn around and the kitchen's cleaned. That's how dialed in I am with my food prep, because I do it every single week, all year long. There's never a week that I miss unless I'm going on vacation. So that's the way I like to do it. I know a lot of people that if they have the time to do it, they meal prep for lunch and they cook dinner every night. That's completely fine. I meal prep everything. Even River's food is meal prepped. It's in the refrigerator. He knows where it is, so he can get access to it as well. So however you want to do it, the most important thing is you have a plan to dedicate to doing that. Cleaning your kitchen of undesired food is always really important, especially if you're doing something like this for the first time and you're new to a nutritional program. In the beginning, things are going to taste bland because your palate has been corrupted by crap. So things are going to taste bland. And in the beginning, especially if you're trying to lose weight, it's normal to be a little bit what in the first week? Hungry. You're going to be hungry from time to time. I remember the first time I did the 90-day challenge, I was hungry because I wasn't ingesting all of this food. I was taking in much cleaner food and lower portions of it, so you get hungry. And that's okay sometimes to be hungry. Usually if you get hungry, but you've eaten your meals and you're a little bit hungry, you can add a little bit of vegetables or just have a glass of water, and that usually goes away. But if you have a bag of Oreos in your kitchen and you get hungry, what's going to happen? You can eat a bag of Oreos. Especially if it's snowing outside. Thank God the snowstorm's coming before the 60-day challenge.
Yeah.
Right? But this is a couple of examples of breakfast, lunch, and dinner right here. Very simple. Why 60 days? It's long enough to build habits. It's short enough to stay focused. It creates structure and accountability. It allows real physical and mental change. Builds discipline through consistency. It's enough time to reset habits. So we want to attend weekly meetings. You want to weigh yourself weekly. When it comes to weighing yourself weekly, use the same scale, the same clothing, at the same time on the same day. So if you're going to do a Monday morning weigh-in every Monday at 7 o'clock, get on the scale at the same time in your routine. go to the bathroom, get on the scale, wear as little as possible. That's when you should be doing your weigh-in. You should not be doing your weigh-in at the end of the day. You should be doing your weigh-in at the beginning of the day. When you wake up, you fasted for about 10 hours usually. You go to the bathroom, and that's going to be your best weight right there. You'll notice that if you weigh yourself at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., you will get a drastically different response from your scale. You'll notice if you weigh yourself every day, you can get a drastically different response from your scale. So we do not weigh ourselves every day. We weigh ourselves once a week at the exact same time. Communicate your progress with me. This will help you keep you on the right path. But always remember, if you come to me and tell me, Sensei, I've been doing it for 3 weeks and I have not lost a pound, what's my first request from you? Let me see your journal. Let me see your app. Let me see your ChatGPT. Let me see where you've logged all of this information. So it's not just important enough to go through and do the meal prep and do everything you're doing. Every single meal, you go right into your app and you log it. You eat, you log. You eat, you log. You eat, you log. That's the nice thing about those apps, is that you log everything that you eat into it, so it shows you your day. And you'll see, I came up 300 calories short today. Or sometimes you're, oh man, I'm stuffed. I've ate so much food and I have 500 more calories of protein to get today. How am I going to do that? Well, maybe we need to adjust your protein goal. So you have to make sure you track, because if you come to me and you tell me you're having a problem and you don't have that information, I cannot help you. So you have to make sure you track your progress. Meetings are going to be on Monday at 6:30 and Tuesday at 8:30, and will be held virtually. The Google Meet link will be emailed. Make sure you keep your journal. These are some of the things we're going to be talking about during the weekly meetings. Understanding the apps and the meal prep ideas. We're going to talk about hydration, sleep, altering meal plans, sugar versus fiber, cover, supplements, BMR versus BMI, visceral fat, dining out, vacations, and celebrations. Again, we're going to go all the way through week 8 with these meetings, and we're going to talk about different topics each time, because it's all about the knowledge that we gain so we can use it throughout the year. But if you have any questions, let me know. Some simple guidelines. Water every day. Try and get 10,000 steps in daily. Don't starve yourself or skip meals to lose weight. Plan to eat 5 to 6 small meals a day, about 3 hours apart. Eat slowly. Stop eating when you're satisfied. Avoid caffeine 1 hour upon waking up. And no eating an hour before bedtime. There's always going to be hard days. There's always going to be days where you get caught off guard. And if you understand and you have the knowledge, you can grab something quick and you can make it work. Sensei Sprango texted me the other day and she's like, I was in a pinch, I had an issue. She's like, and I found this. She's like, normally I don't do a frozen box meal, but this one actually came up pretty good on Yuka, and she read through the ingredients and it was okay, it was quick, it was microwavable. It was high in sodium, which is not the end of the world for a pinch meal to have. But remember, at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out, right? If you consume more than you burn, will you gain weight? Yes. Even if you consume whole, clean foods, you consume more than you burn, you're going to gain weight. If you consume less than you burn, will you lose weight? Yes. So, can you do a Twinkie and Devil Dog diet where you lose weight? Absolutely. 100%. You can eat nothing but Twinkies and Devil Dogs and still lose weight.
You Pennsylvania too. What's the devil dog?
Yeah, what is it? What? Sensei, first the Cabbage Patch and the Devil Dogs. What are you
First off, you guys call it hoagies if you're sub.
The point is that at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out. But if you do a Devil Dog Twinkie diet, you're probably going to die somewhere around 3 years from now. Give or take a year. So remember that when you're in a pinch. Sometimes it's better to eat something that's not as healthy, but to make sure you hit your caloric need, than it is to go hungry and starve yourself. Starving yourself is going to create more psychological issues. It's going to create physical issues. So you need to be prepared for that kind of stuff, and you have to have those in pinch things set up and planned for, right? But again, as with everything, it's about planning. On my Tuesdays where I drive to headquarters, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I drive to headquarters. It takes me 2.5 to 3 hours to get there. I train. I drive all the way back home, and I get back to this area about 4:30. So I'm on the road the entire time. Do you think I'm bringing a container of chicken and rice and microwaving it with me and eating while I'm driving in the morning? No.
Kind of thought you would.
No, I don't. It's not what I do. But what I do is I have my calories dialed in for the day because I'm burning so many that day. So I know what I can and can't eat. And I just make sure that I choose the best that I can. And the worst meal that I eat that day, when it comes to the type of food that I'm eating, is eaten when?
Right?
Before you were
Before I train. My breakfast, on the way up to headquarters, I'm just trying to get simple carbs into my system. I'm loading up with simple carbohydrates. Not the most healthiest foods, but the foods that are going to help me through an 1.5-hour kickboxing class. And I'm going to burn all that right off. And then after that, that's when I eat the clean, eat the complex carbohydrates. So understanding little things like that. You're coming in on a Tuesday night and you're going to train for 2 hours. That's pretty intense training. Try and get simple carbs into your system before you're training. Sugars, fruits, applesauce. Before my baseball games on Sunday, I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on Dave's Killer white bread done right. 2 of them every single Sunday morning with a thing of super carb. Tons of carbohydrates because I'm going to play baseball for 3 hours.
Like half an hour before?
What's that?
About a half an hour before?
I eat that 2 hours before because I need to get it into my system. I need it to digest and I need to get into my muscles. So my body's not focusing on digesting when I'm playing baseball, it's focusing on playing baseball. I need my blood in my muscles when I'm playing baseball, not in my gut, trying to break down food. So I give it simple foods beforehand. Afterwards, that's when I go to the complex. The complex carbs are going to restore your glycogen stores after you train. These are all things that you can learn about on ChatGPT. Ask it about how your muscles use carbohydrates and sugars with exercise. Talk to it about glycogen in your muscles before and after you work out. Learn as much as you can from it. Just understand, like I said, it wants to give you dopamine. It wants to push you to be happy. So it will tell you things. And that's why Adam trains the bot. Adam has a ChatGPT bot that he has trained to talk to him a certain way and to respond to him a certain way and to treat him a certain way. So the more you use it, the more you can get involved in that. But the answers are there to your questions. Marilyn,
Can you speak to the hour restriction on coffee?
can you say it again?
Can you speak to the hour restriction on caffeine?
So caffeine is going to be depending on you with your caffeine, right? The thing about caffeine is it dehydrates you, right? So if you're supposed to drink 8 cups of water a day and you drink a cup of caffeine, now you're down to 7. So you got to add an extra cup, so it dehydrates you. Caffeine in itself is not going to make you gain any weight, that's for sure. It'll probably make you lose more weight. That's what fat burners are. Fat burners are just caffeine pills, that's all they are. Keep your metabolism high, burn fat. Pretty simple. The thing about the caffeine is that it stops you from sleeping, and your recovery is super important. So depending on when you go to sleep, I go to sleep at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock every night. So I drink caffeine at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It does not stop me from sleeping. So you have to adjust the caffeine in your life to make sure that you're sleeping. And if you're having trouble sleeping, look at when you're ingesting the caffeine. It could be an issue.
So nothing about waking up, like not in the morning, because it seems like there's an.
It's best to use it.
I wake up and I want coffee.
That's what I'm saying. Within an hour of waking up, that's the best time to take. That's what that said.
I heard 90 minutes is supposed to wait.
It said avoid.
Avoid it.
It said avoid it within the first hour.
Yeah, avoid it, because it stops your production of something called ghrelin, which allows your body to wake up. So you still have it, just delay it, and
Yes.
that'll reduce your dependency.
I got it. So that's the concept. The concept is when you wake up, you want to let your body naturally wake itself up a little bit, and then have caffeine after an hour of being awake. So not too close to waking up and not too close to bedtime is when you want to have it.
I know Adam always said when you drink water in the morning, it wakes you up more than caffeine.
Yes. So there's actually a couple of tricks now. There's a couple of tricks that get your body set to wake up from a sleep. Drinking water right away. You wake up, drink water right away. Really good for you. Sunlight. Right away when you wake up, if you can get sunlight on your face, is really good for you.
Have to wake up at 7 or after 7.
Yeah, so don't wake up at 6. And cold water. Most people that cold plunge, they get the most benefit from it immediately after waking up. You don't have a cold plunge, or you're too much of a sissy to do it. Just go out. You can just go outside, right? Go outside, get a little cold air, or just take a cold shower. Take a cold shower in the morning. You won't need that cup of coffee. I'm telling you, I have been nearly asleep. Like one eye open. Sometimes after my baseball games especially, we hang out for a little bit afterwards, and I'm driving home and I'm starting to really crash. And I come home and I get in the cold tub, and immediately two things happen. The first thing that happens is my sinuses clear immediately. You can be completely packed. You jump in a cold plunge and it opens everything up completely, and you wake up on a whole nother level. And you get out and you're like, I'm ready to go. And it's really just an amazing thing. So if you're having a hard time waking up, drink some water, take a cold shower, sunlight on your face, and see if that helps.
I even at one point was, I would put a big, like, deep bowl, fill it with ice and water, and shove my face in it, just to drop it, like,
Yeah,
and it really, it's refreshing and it feels good.
absolutely.
Well, that's the other thing, I was like, why am I so fluffy? I'm like, don't just freeze me.
Freeze my face. More habits for improved mental and physical health. Nutrition. All of your calories should be from micro-nutritionally dense foods. Right? So I always tell people when it comes to the 60-day challenge, eat as many fruits and vegetables as you want. Yes, they do count for your calories, but eat as many fruits and vegetables as you want. If you're craving something, have some fruit, have some vegetables. Sleep 6 to 8 hours a day, movement an hour per day, walk, run, bike, weight lift, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. So what I want everybody to do is take inventory of your physical output. Your physical output is one of the most important things we want to adjust over the course of the next 2 months. So let's say you come to 2 beginner classes every week, and that's your physical output. Try and add a 3rd beginner class to that. Let's say you do 3 beginner classes every single week. Try and add some extra strength training. So I go Monday, Wednesday, Saturday to beginner class. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to add some extra strength training. Sensei Billings is going to provide us with some extra strength training routines that you can do, all body weight exercises that are malleable with weights. So he's going to give you a routine. They say for the first week you could do this, the second week you could do this, and it's going to be extra strength training routines. There'll be very simple exercises that you can incorporate. A very simple thing to do, if I'm coming to 3 beginner classes every single week, what I do is I take 2 extra days and I do the exact same strength training we do in class on those 2 extra days, just to get your body moving. You guys know I am a huge proponent of lifting weights. I think everybody, to me, the martial arts and weightlifting are the two best exercises that you can put together. They give you everything that you need at whatever level that you need to take it to. And I think that if you're doing 2 to 3 classes of MMA classes a week, and you do 2 to 3 weightlifting days in between those, that is an amazing routine to help you build muscle on your frame. Because there is nothing more important as you get older than having lean muscle on your frame. When we think about old, we think about weak and frail. Think about how many old people that you know are weak and frail. Now you look at guys like Sylvester Stallone. He's 80 years old now, and he's doing action movies. If you look at some people that are over 60 years old and they're really, really, really doing great, it's because they have muscle mass on their frame. And every day you get older, it gets harder and harder to put muscle on your frame. So you have to start now. And the strength training that we do in class is like level 1 strength training. And you have to take it to the next level eventually at some point and add weight training. Those of you guys that come to my advanced class, you know we don't do any strength training in my advanced class. Because at that level, you should be doing weightlifting programs and strength training programs. And if I'm doing stuff in this class, I'm just ruining your schedule. So I'm a huge proponent of